okay, so March into Union. We told you there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming. We kind of been just kind of getting questions, which is really cool. People sending in questions and saying, okay, you guys said March into Union, so what's that really look like? And instead of running, or walking, or standing still.
It's a play on the month of March.
March into Union. So we've got
the whole month of March.
The whole month of March.
We're going to do March into Union.
So we're going to start with the very first question we got. Actually, it was 3 questions that we kind of took all the questions and kind of put them together.
We made a big answer.
Yeah.
Or one big question.
The first question was, who knew about twin flames first, and how did you tell the other that's what you were?
Man, that's an interesting question, because here's how that went down. My version, and then you can tell your version. However, my version's the truth. Anyway, so, we had this very deep spiritual thing going on, and it was kind of freaking me out a little bit. But I knew. So a lot of you have seen our videos, and you know about the box, that it's an analogy I use. There's a box inside. And even from the moment when I was a child, little, talking to my friends even, saying there's more. There's more to what my parents have. There's more to what your parents have. There's more to what Grandma and Grandpa have. There's more. I know there's more. I feel that there's more. And I'm going to have this big love, this better, for lack of better words, when you're 5 or 6, relationship, or this strong connection, right? I couldn't define it when I was little, but anyway. So you meet people. I met people. I was married for 13 years to someone who I knew wasn't the big love. I felt it, right? And dated, but all the times I dated, I knew there was only one time that I questioned it, and I was like, is this it? And then I realized that it was not. However, when Lee and I met, I felt that interesting pull, right? Mm-hmm. So this was after a couple of separations. Yeah. A few, actually.
Okay.
And I can remember Lee left for work, and we were in the basement, finished basement, where his brother lived. And I can remember being down there while Lee was at work, and I thought, what is this? What am I feeling? So I took to the internet. And I typed in spiritual connection, I think. And then all this stuff came forth, and I thought, whoa, I'm totally resonating with this. So I resonated, or I sat on it for a couple days, and I let it stir for a couple days, and then I believe I showed you an article or something.
Well, you said, you believe it's soulmates. Oh, absolutely. And you said something about twin flames, and I was like, what was that?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I guess from the aspect of the other end, how come I go through the day and I could, like, it was almost like either I heard you, or I could feel you, or I could know if you were eating, I could know if you were smiling, I could feel if you were laughing really. I mean, it was almost like it was like I was sharing a space with you without being with you, and it was really, I didn't understand it. I was like, this just feels so different than anything I've ever experienced. I kept going, no, this can't possibly be real. I can't possibly feel these things. I can't possibly. And it was in me, I'm going, nobody's ever. And I couldn't. It was almost. I kept having to keep saying to myself, this has never happened. I've always had complete control. I can't control what this feels like. I can't either stop myself. I can't it was almost like I was completely wanting to be against everything I was feeling on the inside without saying it. And usually I don't think that I would have said it, but I felt it and was like, wow, what the heck is this? So, you mentioned it. And then what was strange was every time I went to go look at it on the internet, I got the 404 error. What the hell? Every time I kept looking, but then when I would dream, it was seeing different things in my dreams, and I'm going, well. And then when you finally showed me, I think it was an article, and then we had stumbled and found a few videos that we kind of watched. I think we even reached out.
We did.
And of course, we're met with good luck to you. We don't even need to get into that, but it was like. I'm kind of glad the way it happened for us because I believe
we stayed away from a lot of the internet.
Well, after we started to go, wait a minute, I don't believe we're supposed to keep seeking out here for what this is.
Right.
And we knew as close as what anybody was talking about, that made sense with the actual statement itself, twin flames. But I don't believe that at this point it was something for us to discover out there. It was for us to discover in here,
right,
amongst each other. And I liked just knowing that I was connected to you in a very deep way without trying to put something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Without trying to label it.
Yeah, and even when we were like, well, let's just kind of push that away because I don't think we really knew what it was. But we knew that no matter what we tried to do, it was almost like we kept getting smacked back together.
Right.
And it was like, okay, this is beyond this world. Now in you, I felt this box. And in me, I felt it's almost like I was in this space with you that I dreamed about my entire life, but told myself it wasn't out there. It was a really strange feeling. So hopefully that answered that first question. Did you have anything to add? No. Okay.
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Were you too scared when it came to coming into union? Scared is a good word. I like the word scared.
I think it was a
intimidated.
relief.
Intimidated was a bigger word.
I think it was a relief because we were so bad at relationships.
Oh.
Like, we would never have made it. We would have,
if we kept
it would have went bad.
Every time we tried to make it a relationship, it ended very poorly.
Very badly. And I think it would have been pretty bad.
Because, and then of course, we were like, well, if this is who this is, she's going to be all this. And you were like, well, if this is who he is, this is who he's got to be.
Yeah.
And it put a lot of pressure because we weren't communicating that.
At all.
We were just trying to tell the other person. We just knew that if this connection is this strong, right, all of these things should happen.
Right.
They should be accepting of all of it. And there were things that I wanted you to accept that I couldn't accept. And in this connection, it was like that. And it was, the fear, because I believe that's the next question. We were scared, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, yeah, we were scared when it came to coming into union.
Yeah.
But the only reason we were scared is because we weren't talking about what we actually felt. We were just trying to get through it. We weren't admitting to each other we were scared.
Right.
And even if we did, it came with a price of but I'll be strong through it. And that was probably the wrong way to do it. But the way we did it, I thought made sense. Hopefully, if you got that out of our journey, that's kind of where we went. Did it feel overwhelming?
Sure.
I would say the intensity.
For sure.
What was overwhelming to you?
Just, I think it was the thought process that made it a little bit more overwhelming than it should have been. Look, hindsight, but looking back would, it was overwhelming. Like, okay, this is on a different level. I don't quite know how to handle anything. The communication piece, the spirituality piece. How does it all come together? Do I have to be careful what I say? Do I have to be careful what I do? because you don't want to, once you find the union, you don't want to. We tried to do everything we can to mess it up because it doesn't seem real. So then we try to sabotage it, and then we try to we do anything we can unconsciously. Know that it's unconscious, that we try to tear it down because maybe we're not quite sure, you know what I mean, on how to handle it. But it was very overwhelming. It was overwhelming on I don't want to get so deeply seated in him not feel the same way, and then it fall apart, and then the devastation in that is quadruple what it would be in a relationship. You don't want to get hurt. It's fear. The overwhelming comes from fear. It comes from pain. It comes from abandonment. It comes from so much that it creates so much fear that it becomes overwhelming. It's like you've always, it's a dumb analogy, but it's going to have to work. It's like
There's nothing done that you
always wanted a golden retriever. You know what I mean? You know, the golden retriever is what your soul is desiring. You want that golden retriever.
Right.
You get a golden retriever mix, right? And you just don't. It's not the same. You get a golden retriever, or you get a bulldog, and it's not a retriever. And you get a Labrador retriever. It's not the same, but it's similar. Soulmates, right?
Yeah.
And one day you see a golden retriever walking up the road with a sign on it that says, "I need a home." And you come into union with that golden retriever and you communicate, and it's magical and it's great, but the golden retriever still sheds and still runs and still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still has golden retriever qualities because it lives on Earth. So you have to juggle the 3D versus the 5D, or you know what I mean, the golden retriever and versus it's a dog and you're a human.
Yep.
But it's the only analogy I could come up with. But it becomes very overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lot.
That's a good way to put it.
I
believe that's a beautiful way to put it.
It's a whole lot of lot.
For me, overwhelming and intensity had so many different aspects to it. The overwhelming part was, it was like I had this really high energy of just for the physical and the sexual towards you that it seemed like too much to handle. And I get the whole, thought process of being able to want to just go out there and just run with it. But it really was like nobody could answer it.
Yeah.
And that's from that aspect. Then it was like we weren't communicating about it, but you were like, knew that I wasn't like, at that point, not trustworthy of myself. So I sure as hell couldn't be trustworthy to you. There was the overwhelming factor was, what was this going to do to me if I just gave into it? Mm-hmm. The overwhelming factor was, boy, once she really finds out who I am, is she going to feel the same way about me? So, and you really can't feel the same way about a person because of the way they feel about themselves. So, I loved your analogy. I thought that was fantastic.
Golden retriever analogy. We have a client waiting, so
yes.
We've got to get to them.
So, march into union.
March into union. We'll be back.
Yes. Talk to you soon.
A lot.
Bye.